lines of how my 9 to 5 grounds me. But I don't know. My titles, it's so hard to come up with a good title that isn't too long for me. I'm so long-winded. But this is my commentary and I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with the live that I did earlier, like a half an hour ago, talking about how media, particularly media on the internet, has negatively affected us. And I also feel like it has corrupted or skewed our visions, our perspectives in a lot of ways when it comes to what to attain, what we think others should attain physically, mentally, everything from our aesthetics to ourselves, our cars, our houses, to our financial situation. Like it's put on display for a lot of people. I don't do social media, but it is normal. It is more often than not something that people share the details of their lives with others on the internet. And I've noticed a lot of people saying basically, like, you're less than if you don't make X amount of money. And I understand there's people that bring in 6 figures that still live paycheck to paycheck. That's been my experience in my life. Not that we've ever made 6 figures, but we have had incomes before. And I would like to think we would be smarter now with 2 full incomes. But it's like you spend what you make. A lot of us fall into that trap. That's how it is designed. And a lot of the people who talk down on people who work hourly jobs, like myself, they are more of a debt slave than people like me. My goal in life is to become debt free. I barely have any student loan debt. It was a few $1,000s I took out that I thought about, honestly, and I need to pay that off. But other than that, I have very little debt. And it is such a shame with this big bill within a few years, they're going to cap student loans to $150,000, basically saying to some people who want to get the hardest to attain degrees, people who need to be insanely intelligent in order to even to get them, that less of them are even going to be able to, because in essence, more people have to come from a background with money to even be able to get some of these degrees, where it takes 150 to $200,000 easily just to get the degree. And hi, Dory, thanks for coming back a lot. Hi, Nandini, thank you for liking. How are you guys doing? And I know that the internet in a time like, once again, we should be more connected. We should be more understanding. Now more than ever, we should be grateful for people that work the jobs that make less than 80,000. For the people who work in factories and warehouses, they should be seen and heard more. It shouldn't be a shameful to make less money. Like I might make a lot less money than you, but I also feel like I'm in less debt and be for the rest of my life. And I say that like a feeling like I don't want to shame anybody because I need you to become a doctor if you became a doctor. Like we need each other. I'm not trying to shame anybody out of going into debt. For me personally, that is not what I wanted to do with my life. And I have only been more and more glad that I didn't jump into any college degrees. The older I get and the less I have comparatively to other people, you don't get a pat back. You don't get rewarded for having less debt. You don't get rewarded for never being dead or never having a utility shut off. 60% of us live paycheck to paycheck, and people need to stop acting like we don't. Like, that's not a thing. It's completely fine if you are proud of the fact that you don't, but to talk down about people who make less money, it's just something I see on a regular basis. Am I the only one? Or I say this a lot. I understand everybody has chips on their shoulders about certain things. This is one on mine. I admit, like I am a lower income individual, but it can work. And because of the area of the country we live in, I love my home. We have over an acre. And I know a lot of people in a more expensive places that simply couldn't be a thing. And their perspectives are so different because there's no way they could ever own over an acre in residence with our income. I am from Kentucky. I live here now in Kentucky. Hey, Jim, thank you for coming back. Hi, Charles. Everybody doing? Hi, Fishing Queen. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Happy 4th of July. I guess it's technically not 4th, at least here in the Eastern time zone anymore, but I hope everybody that celebrated had 4th. You can't be a doctor with that background. Wise words. Thank you, Jim. Yes, Rishi, I am in Kentucky. Calvin and Hobbes. Oh, that's funny. I used to love those comics. Thank you, Jesus for America. Yes, I'm in South Central Kentucky. I am Louisville, Kentucky, which is, pretty far west. not as far west as it gets. But we live in the countryside now and outside of a small town. I'm doing well, Darshan. How are you? Jim, my biggest hobby is to garden. I started my garden actually late this year because I had surgery at the end of April, but I absolutely love to garden. Happy birthday, America, Peace Dish said. Thank you, Peace Dish. That's a nice comment. Sam is in Kentucky as well. Awesome, Sam. Can you tell me the area? You know, the town or anything, the county, but tell me the area. I'm curious. Is cost of goods, food, like housing, everything is doubled, tripled, quadrupled, is wages remain stagnant, and we're still, like, talking people with low wages. That's what the elite want. They want us to be pointing the fingers at each other and, like, comparing ourselves to each other and shaming each other for not being as good as a wage disparity grows, as a wealth grows, excuse me, and wages stagnate. My wages I have now 20, 30 years ago, we'd be more than fine. And like we basically live like paycheck to paycheck. As I mentioned before, I just try to be honest as like I never want to be caught in a lie. I don't lie. But my husband does work 1 week. So I say one income a lot, but like let's be real, one day a week, like it is supplemental, it is helpful, but it basically like pays for his car. And I am grateful for that, but we have a special needs child, and that is the way it has worked out for us. I have had a lot of medical issues over the years. We've had spent so much money. When I think about the amount of money we've spent just on my teeth alone, if I told you guys, I can't even think. And yes, they still look like this. I had fake veneers put on my front teeth by a dentist, and this was long before the world of veneer techs that we live in now. This was several years ago, West Florida. He put on temporary fake veneers and charged me full for it because price for like actual ceramic veneers because my enamel was almost gone. I think now it was more so like demineralization from autoimmune and vitamin, issues, malnutrition type things. But back then it was like, oh, I had a lot of lemons. My enamel is bad. It's never going to grow back. And, this was like 12, 13, 14 years ago. Now they're like, enamel can grow back. Here's the toothpaste, help you do it. So I just like I'll never have really white teeth, and that's something that I used to be more self-conscious about. And another thing that I wanted to be representing somebody, that doesn't have super bright white out teeth and is okay with that. I'll never be able to whiten my teeth the way I was able to before when I got those veneers. And yeah, just dental care in our country is so insane. You can spend thousands of dollars just getting, a root canal is up $5,000, 6,000 even. Oh, great. I need to quit bringing fruit to bed with me. Older people that can't grasp this concept of stagnated wages, they get to me the most because you've lived life through decades. You saw how good it was. Do you not understand? Or I guess maybe you're not like me, haven't been looking at jobs since you were 16 to 36. Like when you see like restaurant managers, that used to be a decent position. 48, 50,000 just a year. And like that was a decent wage. And like they work hard, they work a lot and they still make that much. Why does a restaurant manager same amount of money now when I'm 38 as they did when I was a 16-year-old girl? Like something's not right. And to work as hard as they do and the hours that they do to only what they do is insane. And this is one of the reasons why service is lacking and so poor, as well as just being understaffed. Like these people really can't help it, even if they are magnificent managers. Like the CEOs are taking so much money can't even staff like anywhere, like restaurants, like places like Home Depot, everywhere. And that's another reason why they're not open 24/7. We used to have places open 24/7. As somebody that works second shift, it really sucks not being able to go to Walmart after work. When I was 16 years old, we could go to Walmart after work. You seem like a nice lady. Kentucky might have Norfolk. Rishi, I really do feel like, okay, so Rishi, I've lived in Kentucky, Indiana, Southern California, and all over Florida. And I've spoken about this before on my channel. I feel like, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, has the nicest people. And I've spoken to a lot of people that have been every state, like a lot of truckers in particular. And every time I ask them what they think is the best state, like prettiest state, they say West Virginia and that there's so many friendly people. We're neighbors with West Virginia, and I want to go there myself. I have never been, but I do feel like if I ever moved out of Kentucky, it might be to West Virginia. Um, Thanks, Rod. That's really sweet. I've had a few surgeries, so I'm glad to see that, there's somebody in here keeping check on how pretty I am. Dentists are sadists, Sam. I think a lot of them are straight up sadists. Hi, Bhavesh. James. I'll make your tie. Oh, jeez Louise. Johan, I like your smile. Oh, from South Africa. How are you doing? What time is it there in South Africa? Well, that's nice of you to say, please stop explaining, but I also I don't feel like I have to explain myself, but I also would like to be an example for other people that know what it's like to not have super white teeth and be a little self-conscious about it, to have some wonky eyes because you've had a few surgeries where you had holes in your face patched up and fixed, and not care when somebody makes fun of it. Mustafa, you can ask anything. I might not answer it, but I might answer it. You have innocent eyes, probably the opposite of innocent, Iced Tea said. That sounds like something in a fortune cookie, Iced Tea. That's funny. Carson said, I'm so pretty. Thank you. No, it's not a lazy eye. I just have like one. This eye is like smaller than the other. Trust me, I've tried to fix it before. It didn't used to be that bad. Most people have some asymmetry to their faces, but um, oh, thank you, Rahit. That's very nice. Gray said, you are gorgeous. Stay strong and have a blessed day. You too, Gray Wolf. I hope you're having a good weekend. Johan, why would you think it affects your personality? You are too cool in your own person. Oh, sorry about that noise. Thank you. Well, that is all I really care about. I mean, the way I look at it, I embrace getting older. I don't feel like I look as good as I did when I was younger, but I don't really care. So that's the whole point, right? It's not what matters is our outside as much. Chris, I'm at the bathroom after they accused me of drinking and talking in a crab tank. Chris, that is so silly. I'm in the north part of this province, Tristan said. Ophthalmologist. Oh, I've asked an ophthalmologist if there's anything they could do about it. Like all of my medical issues, they say no. I should show you what my back looks like. My back looks so weird. It's so splotchy. I asked so many doctors, why does my back look like this? No answer, no answer. I found out through a TikTok that it's called like singed or something like that, burnt flesh syndrome. It's basically from using my heating pad way too much, and it's a precursor to skin cancer. So I'm glad I found out through TikTok. And they tell you not to play Google Doctor. This is the way a lot of us have to figure out our own medical issues. I am from Kentucky. That's where I live. I should probably write fortune messages. Iced tea said. That's funny. So said I was trolling. Your eyes are fine. Oh well, thank you. Well, I have green eyes, so like when I was younger, I was used to people always talking about my eyes, and then once they became like wonky, it was something I struggled with for a few years. No thoughts on what I said. You said you would talk about it if I repeated it. Ren, are you playing with me? Can you repeat it again? Because I do not see it anywhere in here. Will you please? Okay, I just scrolled through all the comments, and this is the first comment you've made on this live. So can you please say the question you want? Because I am not purposely not answering you. No, I want to answer you. I think you said OMG. I really don't see it. No thoughts on what I said. You said you would talk about it if repeated, and it's not. See, and then I spend all this time scrolling. No offense, but I'm trying to think about the people that might be rewatching it, and I don't want to spend so much time. Can you please rewrite it? It isn't in the live. Map something said, I am from Ukraine. I hope you're doing well. Joe, no, I don't believe in anything like that. I don't believe SEX work should be a thing. But I don't look down on SEX workers either. I think it's like they're products of their environment. Ham sandwich, no, that is not what he said. Oh, thanks, Ice Tea. So his wages are stagnated, and the people that have worked through these decades and seen the cost of houses compared to wages, can they not critically think? I guess their attention span has been shortened to the point that they can't remember a few decades ago. Because as somebody who's 30 years old, I can see how stagnated the wages are. And no, Joe. Okay, I am done with my notes, and I really want Ren to ask their question. Or Ren, you can always leave your question in a comment, like on the actual comment section of my video or any video. What is the most embarrassing thing that happened to you in high school? Puppet Gush, that's such a good question. I guess I haven't really finished all my notes. I can't think of the most. I left high school at the beginning of my junior year, so I was only in high school for 2 years basically. And I'm trying to think the most. Oh, okay. A guy said that I slept with him when I didn't, and it was somebody in our friend group. And it was because he was mad at me. But after I got my tonsillectomy, I wouldn't go down on him. I mean, we weren't an item. That was the most hurtful thing, was somebody saying that. And then even years later, somebody that I was really good friends with a mutual friend of ours said that he believed him, and that really, really hurt my feelings. So, usually it's Joy actually thought that was kind of, but I don't have a good answer. Ren, I don't see it now. Okay, I think I can officially mention that Ren is just trying to mess with me, and I'm not trying to be mean, but if you really wanted me to answer something, I'll leave it in the comment section. Right now, in my opinion, I think working class people need to stick together and quit trying to cosplay like we're wealthy and pretend like we're something that we're not. There is such a disparity with the classes right now. It's basically like a caste system at this point. When we learned about caste system in India, it was something that was like, oh my gosh, wow, like that still happens today now. Well, they're just, like, honest with it, and I get it, like, it's not as straight up as it used to be, right? But, like, it is essentially happening here now. It's only gonna be possible at a certain point to even be a property owner if you are extremely wealthy. When the whole point of our country was people from all over the world wanted to be here, it was full of opportunity because all you had to do was work hard and you could have a good life, and now it's like in a way, I feel like we've escaped the system and I also wanted to be an example of that. Like we might live on like barely one income. If you play your cards right, you can still be a homeowner. You can still enjoy life. Of course, everybody wants more money, right? Like most of us would desire would be more happy because we would be more at ease with more money. The medical bills wouldn't up as much, for instance. And that is something that does make you happier. Money does buy happiness to a certain extent if you are struggling. To work a 9 to 5 job, I feel like it grounds me. It has made me a better person and I intend on going back to school. I intend on making more money. I want to be at the point when my sons are adults, they can ask us for a few $1,000s when they need some money and we can just hang it. Less and less of us are going to be able to be like that because of what is happening right now. They siphon off so much. I've said this before. Like it's been said before we were all born. Like this capitalist, like I do believe in free market capitalism. It's not what we have right now, in my opinion. That's why it's on its way out. Like, yeah, I wish we still had that. I do believe in that, but now it's monopolies on everything you can imagine. A handful of corporations, a handful of people, everything, and we are all suffering because of it. And that's why these rules were put into place. And America was such a great place in particular for business owners. Like our laws are set up for business owners. Karma said, on a good note, is supposed to change here in the US for the better. How so, Karma? Can you tell me? I'd love to hear some good news. I Are you talking about the RFK Jr. stuff? Hello, Slack. How are you doing tonight? Ren, if you're saying any words at all, like I don't have any words restricted on my end, but like anything at all, even abuse, anything negative, you might want to separate it. Like when I abuse in YouTube comment sections, I put A, B, space, U, C. That's how ridiculous it is. Um, oh, I am real. I am real world person. It's funny. I use this edit on a video I haven't uploaded where it was like they took a few seconds of my voice and I wrote a script in and it said my voice, like a robot version of my voice. It was so funny. And you guys might hear it soon. I don't know how I feel about it on this channel though. Puppet, gosh, yes. Have you heard the saying about a luxury car being in front of a middle class house? The person who has a car has no business having it. Sure, free is a thing, but at the expense of financials. Yes, and I Instacart every now and then, and I've noticed in the fanciest neighborhoods, those people actually tend to have a lot of the oldest cars. It's like the people that own like the really nice houses, they have a lot of older vehicles because they're probably smarter with their money, right? Josephine, one of my American friends told me there is really nothing to do if you don't have money. Like in some areas, you can't even go to public parks before you are removed for loitering. That's really sad. I mean, here in Kentucky, I don't think you would ever be removed for loitering in a park, but I totally see that happening in a lot of cities, especially. And it is a shame. It's like we're so full of opportunity, and it's like everywhere you turn, peeking you dry. Utilities become more expensive. Food is so expensive. I watched this woman that lives in Russia get her groceries for 2 weeks, and it was $87. And it was like all the food that she bought would have been like $250 easily here. And it's such a shame that it went from something that was great for so many people to now I don't want to say we're slaves and take away from actual slaves, but we're all like indentured servants, indentured serfs basically at this point. And that's my goal is to be in as little debt as possible. When we bought our first house, we didn't know, like, if you don't put, like, so much down, like, gonna have an increase in your mortgage payments every year. Nobody told us that. Nobody tells certain things. And after a few years, once again, stagnated wages, we're not making that much more. Our mortgage payment is going up, our utilities are going up, food is costing more, everything costs more, literally everything. Oh my gosh, try having a few kids, you get nickeled and dimed to death. Literally everything. It's like $40 to get into anywhere decent per person. You spending a few $100s for a few hours, like, just to it really is a shame. Oh, Zammy's on, you're silly. Zammy's on. I'm married. I've been married for 15 years. RIP PFK Marlowe. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be rude. This topic of conversation actually have guidelines. Oh, okay. I'm sure it is. This is 100% not a safe conversation. Okay, so these are I've never had this troll before where I'm being told it's not a safe conversation. Um, but any that does like haphazardly report things, like, YouTube will catch on to that too. So feel free to like report whatever you want. I wrote the comment post. Okay, Ren. I promise I'll see that. Do you mean post in my community tabs? I take it. Liana said, Diddy Ronamy. Father Diddy came down and baptized Sister Cassie. And she was born again in the baby oil. Okay, that was pretty funny. Thus spoke Baphomet. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Slack, no, I am not AI. Puppet Gush, I whole thing, especially since there was two people saying like the same comment. It's like, even bots, like when the same thing gets said, like the same way. This is most likely AI. Okay. I don't know how people think I'm AI. Like, wouldn't I look a little bit better if I was AI? I would like, you know, increase my cup size, 1 or 2 cup sizes or something. If I was AI, I'd do something, look a little bit. Here in Denmark, for me to get a month of groceries as an individual, I spend maybe around 180 to 200. That's good. Is an individual, like just somebody, I would venture to say it's at least $300 a month for a single person here, but I don't know for sure. Cars are not an asset; they lose value every year. Put your money in land or a house. I do agree with you, Jeff 8, but some cars are better than others, and I always highly, there are kinds of brands that hold their value better, and I would really recommend those. Because we actually have a car that's worth more than what we owe on it. Does that make sense? Like, we put that much money. It's easy not to get in under a car, basically, is the point. Puppet doesn't look like AI. Thank you, Puppet. I really don't think so either. I hope you see it this time. It's in your latest community post. Okay, Ren. You know what? I'm gonna literally write down a note to check it just to make extra sure in case it doesn't show up on my notifications, okay? Have you thought about selling rugs? I think everybody knows what code word I'm using rugs for. No, Elijah, I am a mother. I love growing like medicinal herbs that are legal, things like the marshmallow plants. Oh my gosh, like I hope to one day be able to help people with herbal remedies like that, but nothing that, would be considered, think somebody would sell like a rug. Okay. Stop spending prices will go down. Southern mofo. Are you talking about real estate? People have been saying that for a few years, but it does seem like it is now finally happening. Like they're staying and they are going down a little bit, but I don't know if they'll ever like go down. Like there's not going to be as much of a bubble to burst as in 2008, for example, because there is such a lack of housing. Like a lot of people would have to lose their jobs. Is it really glitching? Am I okay? Yeah, it probably, usually around the half an hour mark is when um, I start to glitch. And I noticed my last live, I was re-listening to it. Like sometimes it's really super glitchy. Replay it. Like if I'm cutting out a lot, I might not cut out if you rewind it. Like you have to give it more time to like load or whatever. So I'm gonna let you guys go because there's people are saying there's a lag, and I did get through all my notes. Just wanted to say, like, I'm proud of anybody that works a 9 to 5. You are heard, you are valid, your income is earned, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's this dystopian, crazy world we live in. Like, we need the lowest wages are needed the most, ironically enough. Not trying to put anybody down that doesn't work in a warehouse like me, but like, if we don't go to work, we're the only people that go to work in severe weather. Like, It's us and, like, doctors and a few gas stations that are open during the crazy times, like the panini, like, severe, severe weather. Like, we have to keep running, we have to keep making goods for all of society, we have to keep those goods flowing from one spot to another. The supply chain is so crucial to supply this life that we all live like king compared to most people for most of the history that we know of, most time that we are aware of. We live so nicely compared to most people that used to live before us, in part because of manufacturing goods, the supply chain. And it's the people that make 18, 19, $20 an hour. They're needed so badly. If one day without their work and you would see it, and people like start freaking out about toilet paper being on the shelf. Where do people think that comes from? And that doesn't mean you have to bow down to me. That doesn't mean that you have to think I'm better than anybody that work a hard physical job. It'd just be nice to not be looked down on, not be listening to somebody that I regard their work as good. And while I'm at my factory job listening to talking about low income and how you can't provide for a family, like anything under 80, like I know they're completely out of touch. I know I live in a super poor area that's also a cheaper cost of living area. And that's another thing I wanted to share with people. Like it still is possible to live off of one income in certain areas. As somebody mentioned earlier, we can't do everything that we want to do all the time. No, I don't get to go on vacation as much as I like. We have a bunch of chickens now. Okay, I need to go. The connection is lagging. Like I said, you might be able to rewatch it and it might not lag. Well, I hope you have a great night. Like I said, I'm really proud of everybody that works hard for their money, no matter what you earn. It is important. You are important. Probably more so the less money you make. Let's be real. Think about it.